Hi, I'm coming on to do another impromptu live. Maybe eventually I will get to the point where I have a set time where and set day that I do the lives, but at this point, this is what it is. So I thought that I would come on and talk a bit about dealing with challenges because this is something that basically everyone experiences in their lives, no matter where they're at. And it can show up in different ways, different intensities. And, it shows up in our personal lives, our work lives, but generally our lives because everything is our lives. And, I think too that with the things that are going on right now, energetically, I mean, you could say maybe things that are going on in our world, but I think energetically there's just a lot of stuff showing up. And I look at it as an opportunity to be able to observe and become aware of what might not be working in our lives, and where our beliefs, where our patterns, and that are showing up in a way that is not beneficial to ourselves or to those around us. And I used to be someone who, whenever a challenge showed up, I would do my best to not look at it. I would do my best to run away from it, hide from it, escape from it. And, I would do this in the form of busyness. I would do this in the form of watching TV or movies, getting together with people, and even the emotions that came along with it, I wouldn't deal with it. I just thought, okay, well, I will just distract myself and do things that basically give me temporary enjoyment, and eventually it'll go away. But the thing is, it never really goes away. It might subside for a little while, but then it's going to arise and show up again. And sometimes challenges can be interesting, because a challenge could be something like, okay, your washing machine breaks down and now you can't do your laundry until you get it fixed, or you have to go to a laundry facility until you get it fixed or something like that. So there's those kind of challenges that can show up. But there's recurring challenges. Well, I mean, that could be a recurring challenge too, if you're like constantly facing those type of challenges where things are breaking down or things are not working, and that type of thing. And that could be an indication of, okay, maybe what is the common denominator? What is really going on here? And but there's other kinds of challenges, like a lot of people have financial challenges where they keep running into difficulties with keeping money in their account and having enough money to pay their bills and take care of the things that they need and that type of thing. There could be relationship challenges where you end up experiencing the same type of challenges in each relationship you're in. And sometimes it's emotional. You don't necessarily know exactly what it's connected to, but you could be someone who experiences a lot of heavy energy and you're struggling frequently with depression or anxiety or anger or different things like that. And, these are all, in my opinion, an opportunity for us to look at this and think and see, okay, why is this showing up? What do I need to be aware of? What might I be able to let go of? And, and giving yourself time to process the emotions. Because the worst thing we can do is just keep running away and trying to hide from them, trying to escape from them. And those kind of patterns can show up in a variety of ways too. That can be, like as I mentioned that I did, is like, keeping busy, not allowing myself sort of any stillness or quiet time, or watching movies, things like that. It can show up with excessive sleeping. It could show up with excessive eating or eating challenges, where you're basically sabotaging yourself and not eating in a healthy way. It could show up in various types of addictions. So, the first key is that we need to become aware of what is showing up, because it can become a habit to escape to the point where you just don't even realize you're doing it. And you have to be willing to become aware, and being willing to actually look at it and see what this could be telling you. Because the only way something can change is that we need to be able to move through it. And we can't move through it until we become aware of it. Even our challenges that we have with other people, where we think we believe somebody else is the problem, their behavior is the problem. They're the ones that are acting like they're selfish or always angry and that type of thing. But it's an opportunity. Everything is energy and everything is a reflection. So when we see other people behaving in a certain way, particularly towards us, it's an opportunity for us to choose to look at this as a reflection. And it doesn't mean if somebody is angry, expresses a lot of anger towards us, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are angry people ourselves specifically, but it suggests that there is anger within us, that there's an aspect in ourselves that we're choosing not to acknowledge. And anger in itself is not bad, but repressed anger can be very dangerous, very unhealthy. So, this is something that I have been working on for myself over the last few years. And, it's always a work in progress. It's anything that I talk about, I'm not talking about I was there and now I'm through it and I'm done, and so now I'm just just talking about it now. It's always progress, and I am sharing my experiences and sharing my understanding of what is going on. So you may or may not resonate with what I'm saying, but I listen to a few different spiritual teachers. I've also listened to a few other, I guess they were teachers in their own right. Not necessarily spiritual though, but they're talking about their understanding. And I usually find I take a little bit from different sources of what resonates with me, and then trying to find what seems to work best for me in my journey. So that's what I'm hoping that this will help others with, is that they will, take the time to listen to this and see what resonates with them, and maybe try some of the things that I talk about as well. So, before I get into what I do to help me deal with the challenges, though, I've noticed that having my own business, and particularly with this digital marketing business that I have become involved in, there's been a lot of stuff that's shown up. And, a few years ago, I might have been like, this isn't working. This is telling me that I should be doing something else. I shouldn't be doing this because it's too hard. It's too challenging. It's, maybe not worth it. But these experiences have pushed me out of my comfort zone a great deal. And, many of us like our comfort zone. Maybe you might be like, why do I need to leave my comfort zone? It's comfortable. And there's a level of comfort, yes. But for most people, the comfort zone is only familiarity. That's the only thing comfortable about it. It's like what you're getting. What you're experiencing. There's no surprises, for the most part. When you move outside of your comfort zone, suddenly it's like, I don't know what to expect. What's going to happen? What if I fail? What if people don't like me? What if? And, so we create all of these ideas in our mind based on our beliefs, based on previous experiences, and we convince ourselves that it's not worth leaving our comfort zone, even though we may not actually be happy where we actually currently are. So, the comfort zone does not give much opportunity for growth. It does not give much opportunity for expansion. And the opportunities outside of the comfort zone are so much greater there is so much more opportunity for growth and expansion. There is opportunity to learn how to become more courageous and move through fear, so that when you do experience new things, you're able to more easily accept them and face them and deal with them. And a lot of our fears are just things we've made up in our heads. But sometimes things don't work out the way that we had hoped. And this fear of failure and whatever else you might be afraid of can stop us from doing things. And it really stops us from really living our lives. And I have come to appreciate, I still get stopped by fear, but I have come to appreciate how much I have been able to grow and expand when I have chosen to push myself out of my comfort zone. And how that has made other things that I have experienced become a lot easier, or at least there's a feeling more of ease when different things show up and come my way, whether they're good or bad. And that's another thing. Even the stuff that we perceive as bad is not necessarily bad. We just perceive it as that way. It's just that we have certain ideas of what we want to experience and of what we don't want to experience. But even the things that we perceive as bad can help us to grow and become better people, become stronger, become more resilient, and become more wise, and even become more joyful and peaceful. And I'm not sure what else to sort of say on that, but the things that I've been doing to help me with moving through challenges is working on letting go of attachment. That is where so much of our suffering comes from. Our suffering comes from attaching to how we think things should or should not be, which are all ideas. And I think things in nature happen the way they're meant to happen, whether we decide we like it or not. And when we get caught up in these ideas of what should or shouldn't happen, these beliefs, and get caught up in the emotions that are associated with it, we are so wrapped up in it that we become it. We don't even see it as a separate thing anymore. We've just completely become it. And so I've been practicing letting go of I need to sit differently here. My back is getting sore. Okay, that's a little bit better. I've noticed for myself, when I start to let go of the attachment to emotions and ideas, that I'm able to come back to center, to become more grounded a lot more easily. And some people might not really understand this, that that there's a lot of black and white, there's a lot of right and wrong in the world, a lot of what should or should not happen. And I've noticed for myself that as long as I keep myself attached to that aspect, I end up continually feeling stressed. I end up continually feeling anxiety, chaotic in my emotions, not being able to relax. And that doesn't help anything, because as I mentioned just a little while earlier, everything is energy. So if everybody is experiencing chaotic energy and stress and anxiety and depression and all of those kinds of energies, that energy is being sent out. It's not just within us. It's being sent out and it's being felt by others, which is influencing. Our energy influences other people. And it's not helping. Yes, there's a lot of things going on in the world that don't appear to be good, that appear to be harmful, and I don't necessarily like a lot of what's going on in the world either, but I also know there's a lot of good things that are happening in the world as well. And I stopped watching the news a number of years ago because I was tired of getting caught up in all of this negative energy. Because it gets perpetuated over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then the people who get caught up in it experience that negative energy over and over and over and over again. And so it just keeps getting perpetuated into the world. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that anymore. And so I've decided I'm not going to focus on what is all of these challenges that are going on in the world. I'm going to focus on my own personal energy, because that's the best way that I can support the evolution of our world in a more positive way, is by raising my own vibration and finding more peace within my own heart. And so that's one of the things that I do. And it's like, I have gotten to a place where I am much, much better at being able to observe the emotions that are showing up, noticing the energy that is within my body, noticing the dialogue that sometimes ends up coming in, and being able to either acknowledge the emotions or the energy and be like, okay, this is what's showing up right now. I'm going to just sit with it, trying to sit with it and accept it for what it is without becoming attached to it, without becoming it. But sitting with it and trying to allow it to process and move through me. And sometimes I will just try to move to a better way of thinking, or I'll come out in nature like I am right now and just notice the beauty of the trees, notice the birds, the squirrels, and just bringing that joy into my heart. And then I also have practices that I do pretty much on a daily basis to also help me as well. And one of those things is yoga nidra. And yoga nidra is not your traditional type of yoga where you're physically moving. You lie down. You're in a lying down position for the whole thing, and you're not moving. It's a practice of stillness. And it's a practice of connecting with your body. And this gives your body and the mind to just move through different things, because it's kind of like a guided meditation where you're guided. You might be guided to focus on your breath, or you might be guided to focus on different parts of your body, and there's some messaging that is put together with that as well. Not like subliminal or affirmations, but it's just supportive guidance as you're doing this. And I think that has helped me a lot. I've also done various energy practices, like with Donna Eden, for example. She's got a lot of energy exercises and routines that help to rebalance the energy in our body. Because our energy can get out of whack with all the different things that we end up dealing with in our lives. There's also Qigong, which kind of has the same sort of effect. There's other energy practices out there as well. Recently I've been doing some somatic yoga and Kundalini yoga, which is, there again, mind-body practices. And somatic yoga is based on the idea that our emotions are stored in our body. So, for example, if you're experiencing hip challenges, that could be an indication that you have a fear of moving forward. And different parts of the body can be associated with different beliefs. So somatic yoga can help with moving that energy and shifting it. Kundalini yoga works both with the physical body as well as breath work. There is a spiritual practice aspect of it as well, but there's you don't necessarily have to go into that deeper aspect if that doesn't speak to you. And but the breath work and the body work, when I've done a couple of these practices, it has created a release. And I didn't necessarily feel any particular emotion when I started, but as I was doing it, and I was allowing myself to be open to the experience, these emotions just kind of came up. I started doing some of the stuff, and I was just like, it just came up and bubbled up, and needed to be released. yeah, and I think those are the main things that I've been doing to support me on my journey. And there's other spiritual kind of things that I sort of ideas that I have as well, but those are the main things, and I think that they have really supported me because the challenges that I've been experiencing over the last couple of months, I'm noticing that I'm feeling a lot more grounded, a lot more balanced, and a lot more feeling like, okay, well, I don't know exactly what's going to come. I don't know how things are going to show up, but I'm feeling more like, okay, I can deal with or handle whatever does show up. And it's all, I think, for my highest good. It's going to help me become a better person. I'm opening up to spiritual guidance to guide me on my journey and support me in the action steps that I might need to take. And yeah, so there's so many different things that can be done, and there can be there's a lot of different processes. There can be things where you actually have somebody who you work with that can help you move through things if it's something feeling overwhelming that you don't feel you can manage on your own. There's so many different ways, but I think the biggest thing is to just acknowledge the challenges and accept what is. Because I think that's pretty much all of us really, really have difficulty accepting what is. We want to resist it. I don't like how this feels. I don't like this experience. I don't think this should be the way it is. And so we end up resisting it. But all that does is create suffering for us because it is what it is. I mean, that sounds so maybe cliche, or sounds so, I don't know, I can't think of another word, but it truly is what it is. It can't be changed in that moment because it already is. So the only thing that we can do is either accept it and then look at, okay, so this is what it is. What choices do I have now? Or maybe there aren't any choices and the option only is being able to surrender to it. And I know neither of those things are easy. I know that because I still feel challenged with that myself. But I think that is the ultimate goal, is to be able to come to a place where we can accept whatever the challenge is, and then once we accept it, then we can see what our options are from there. That, and not becoming attached to outcomes, emotions, and all of that. So anyways, I hope that some of what I shared in this video is helpful to you, and I invite you to share any questions or comments or experiences. And ow, I was sitting on my feet and I'm getting sore. But yeah, what do you do to help yourself move through challenges, or to keep yourself grounded, or regain your balance? I'd love to know. So I hope you have a great rest of your day.